All right, welcome back, everybody. This is Todd Collins, leader of the Todd Father team, co-leader of Phil's greater PSI team. There's a whole bunch of members that are here tonight. We had over 100, I think, at one point that joined this call tonight, Bob. Bob Reid's got sort of way up there. He has a bunch of different teams underneath him. We just got done going through all the enhancements, the insides, the outsides, the little intricate details are going to come down the road. This was a high level training tonight to kind of give you guys a little bit of an idea of how great the opportunity just became underneath you. If you have questions at this point, please pop down in the emoticons, or whatever they call them, at the bottom of your screen. One of them says reactions. If you click on that, you can raise your hand. Please stay on mute until we call on you. And we'll get to every question that we possibly can tonight before we need to wrap up. Kathy and Craig Collins have the first one. You guys come off mute and go ahead.
Bob, thanks a lot for taking the time to do this tonight. Did I understand you correctly to say that if I, in my downline, uh, 5 generations, say the third or fourth generation goes inactive, that they will dip down to the sixth generation?
That's right. It's 5 active sponsorship levels. The inactives and the canceled do not count. So when they look down,
yeah, that's a game changer there.
yes, and that's something I really pushed for even before, and they agreed when they looked at it. They agreed that's a necessary change, and they changed from 5 levels to 5 active levels because that's who we work with. That's who's doing the business. They may have people just buy a coin here and there every once in a while. They're a customer, and or never buy a coin. They're just buying bullion and getting health benefits or other benefits. So 5 active sponsorship levels down.
That's cool.
That's real powerful.
That's cool.
Very cool.
Thank you, Bob.
Dorita, you're
absolutely.
Aloha, mahalo, whatever it is I'm supposed to say.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Bob, I have a question. So on the dynamic compression.
Well, we don't use that word. They don't want to use that word.
What word? That's what I was going to ask you. What word are we using now?
Because in the industry here, there's many different terms when that word done. I know I've used it before, but what we're doing is active and inactives for generational
active
level.
And inactive.
That's right. Because just the way I described it here tonight is it's 5 active generational levels deep.
So, generational levels deep.
Well, that's what your sponsorship. Oh, let me give an example that everyone can understand. You all understand your bank lag. Most of you didn't sponsor a lot of people there unless you had to rank up. You sponsored people in your pay lag, didn't you? Okay. Yep. Mm-hmm. Well, you got no spillover in your pay lag. And when you sponsored that very first person, you started that tree. Everyone in your pay lag, everyone is a result of your sponsorship. So you sponsored A sponsored all the Bs sponsored all the Cs. And so it's not a level. I mean, you could have your A, that's your personal active, and your next personal active that you had on your pay lag was 16 levels deep. Well, then they got Bs and they got Cs. They're still on your second level and your first level. So all A's, no matter where they're at in the tree, is your first level. All B's, no matter where they're at in the tree, is your second level. All C's that they sponsored are on your third level. And so they're going to go 5 generational levels deep. And as a copper, you only need 1 sale in a month. I mean, I have never seen a compensation plan with such leniency, to be honest with you.
Yep. Real quick.
Compared to what we had, every week you had to keep an associate active on both sides and a personal.
right? That
So
was irritating.
That's why I focus on that bronze level,
Okay.
because I
So-
know those requirements of 3 personals left, 3 personals right, and having just 2 sales on the left team, 5 generational sponsorship levels, active sponsorship levels, deep, just 2 in a month.
Yeah.
That's your monthly qualifier. So let's take an example. When they look back 3 weeks, come June 2nd, they're going to look back 3 weeks. You're going to have a screen in your back. In fact, y'all, it's going to come up this week, by the way. It's going to come up. You're going to see this little screen that says how many sales you got. So we're going to teach you and show you before it actually implements. So what we wanted is happening. They are working with us, so you get to see, you get to transition into this, and it's not like a shocker and it just happened to you. Okay. I just tell people go get their sales. Go build business. Go help people get gold. Go help people get gold bonus. You get your gold bonus and help them get gold. Help them get free silver with our loyalty program and our loyalty point. See, I'm going to train the way I trained and built an organization over 70,000 people with people just dropping some coins in a hand, a real easy script you can do with total strangers now, and ask them if they know what that is. Ask them, when it's silver and gold or whatever ounces you got in there, if you put 2 coins in their hand, they got 2 ounces of silver. You say, would you rather have 2 ounces of silver in your hand or a whole handful or a shoebox full or closet full or house full or all you can get? If you had a choice, what would you rather have? Everybody answer that question to yourself. Yeah, everybody says, I want all I can get most of the time. And you say, let me ask you another question. Would you rather earn it or would you rather buy it? What do you think everybody says? I'd rather earn it. Here, take a look at this card. Answer my card, you give them a QR code, do this, invite them to a yeah, let me show you how, if you want to learn how. Bingo. Easier to set appointments, easier to get people, that little hook into people, so much easier than y'all have ever done it, because the ease of piquing interest is the greatest thing in starting to build growth and duplication. And I get to train my old system again now with this company, because we really are earning gold and silver.
Absolutely.
And we are showing those methods. I can't wait to give all these trainings that I did back in the 90s, where I made $1 million a year in commissions and stacked gold and silver bullion enough to set us free financially at the young age of 52. Now I get to show everybody else how to do it all over again, and even make greater incomes than we could make back in that day. Because let me tell you a real secret. And that company Richard and I did back in the 90s, I had to have 15 new sales on the left and 15 new sales every week that had to come up on my left team and right team to make a $2,200 check. And if I wanted to make a $6,600, I had to have 45 that come up every week. Well, look, after a while, you got so many sales. That's why they had to add the extra levels too. They know that people are going to generate more and more sales, and they want them to stay in tune with their organization, helping people help people. And they can then remunerate them because it's volume based, and it's because they're the causal factor of bringing the people to the table, and not just spillover and people making income that shouldn't make income.
Amen.
That has been corrected now.
Amen to that. 2 quick notes on that, Bob. Questions. Steve Maniotis asked, what defines active in this pay plan? Active means that they're processing an autosaver every month. So if they go inactive, they go technically 32 days, I think, in most cases, without processing an autosaver, they'll go inactive. So that if they before were your B, your C now becomes your B, your D becomes your C, and so on. The other side of that is you're level 0. You are not A. A is a level underneath you. or one, depending on how you look at it. Like Bob's A, B, C, D, E, it's easy. Those are your 5 levels deep. So if your B, C, and D don't process an autosaver this month, you have E, F, and G underneath you to work with that particular month. Now, if you're building G because B, C, and D are inactive or their membership didn't renew, and 6 months later they pop back into your organization again by processing an autosaver, you just got another person to level, but that person down at G or whatever it was is going to fall off of those first 5 levels. So be aware of that as you go forward. Also, I want to make a word of caution real fast. Please, in the chat channel, don't post things about the compensation plan that you think are accurate. Let Bob put those up inside of the different band apps. I'll put them up inside the Toddfather app. If you happen to post something that's inaccurate, everybody is out there thinking they're working off of something that's true. We want to make sure it's the right stuff that gets put in there going forward. Thank you.
Correct.
Yeah. So
Thank you, Bob.
Is
Got
up.
it.
but very true. It's so very, and look, remember those inactives, they don't see the volume. They don't collect volume.
Yeah.
So they don't see what's happening under it. They're not just going to come back and get active. And that's why we work with people who are active. And then this really reinforces the fact that you work with people who are active, who want to build, who want to help other people. And that it just kind of helps everyone help everyone else. And as we get into the trainings and more expert, I'm answering detailed questions here, but believe me, like I've done in the past, I'm going to give detailed explanations of how this works and give different examples so you can see how it works, and then you can use it to train all the new people and all the people in the organization that they can have it and work with it.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you. That verbiage is important.
Yep. Thank you. Don Swank,
You're
you're
right
up.
to read it.
Yeah, just a quick question. I know that a lot of this new plan is to drive new membership. As people renew, is the gold bonus applied to renewals also?
No, it is not. It's only new customers, new customer.
Okay.
Everything's meant for new customers.
Okay,
And
thank
most
you.
of the renewals have already happened. You know, we made the $5.99 back in November, but then they backdated it. We gave people a chance to backdate, and nearly all of those are coming due, except for the people who renewed with the 269, and those will continue to renew, or they convert it to a $5.99. But the gold bonus would not apply to renewals. It is meant not, but gold bonus is in your Sound Money wallet. Gold pay is for new customer acquisition only. New customer acquisition.
Thank you.
We got Robert McNee up next. Hey, Robert.
Hey, you answered one of my questions, Todd. Does it refer though people to upgrade from the 265 to the 599? Do we get the gold pay for that?
I believe the answer to that right now is no. Bob and I have a short list of a few enhancements that we're trying to navigate and help 7K understand the value of some of those things. That's one on my punch list. If I've enrolled somebody, say at 269 this year, next year their renewal comes up and I encourage them to renew, they see the value in going to the lifetime legacy 599 membership. I'd like to see something happen there, but that's me. What 7K chooses to do right now is to say it's on your first enrollment only. And what I think I can say this, Bob, correct me if I need to say it differently or not say it at all. There's a lot of fluidity right now to this compensation plan. There are many things that 7K has brought forward that are incredible enhancements. Several of the leaders, Bob Reid, myself, and a couple others, have given them some suggestions on other ways to help members stay active, some other ways to compensate. And I think we just need to kind of all be patient. Right now, what we have is incredible. We don't need any more than that to be successful. But if they happen to come along and say, hey, here's another enhancement that gives your people more power to succeed, you more ability to earn compensation by getting people to renew or whatever happens down the road, Robert, we'll let you guys know when that happens. But for right now, it's the first time they enroll. That's a new member. That's the only time a bonus is paid.
That's right.
Okay. So did, I
Makes
know
sense.
that Bob's on band. How about Todd? If when Bob's not here, will those teaching also be on band, or do I have to go to the Todd Father?
Yeah, that we have two options on my team right now, the greater Todd Father team, and it's ultimately we're gonna fold in all the PSI people. So anybody here who's down under Phil Godleski anywhere, we currently have the toddfather.world website. I know, by the way, that a lot of the trainings there are outdated because they look at the old website, the old compensation plan. Those people that were working with me to try and put that content up know that I spent probably about 200 hours of my time, my team's time, to make those videos and edit them and post them. Well, then when they change the website, they change the compensation plan, all that stuff has to be redone. So one of the commitments that I have from 7K is that the things that we've had to do out in the field to offer those kinds of training levels, 7K is saying we want to have an understanding of where we have gaps. I like that word, or opportunities for enhancements, if you will, to the training portal on 7K's website. So they're working diligently to put those enhancements up on their time, on their dollar. That's their responsibility. We've offered that as an enhancement because we wanted to give you guys more. But 7K is working with me diligently on kind of fixing some of that. In addition, to answer the rest of your question, we also do have a band app. I've given people both options because some don't like the web portal and others don't want to have another platform like Band to go to. Bob is a big Band fan. Joy and Mike and I talked a little bit today. That's my leadership team, operations director, Joy and Mike, that does all the IT stuff. We definitely want to re-engage a more concise and clean Band app going forward so that you guys have access to all these things as we move along. Be patient with us over the next few weeks. As you probably gathered from this, Bob and I and all the other leaders at 7K are sucking water through a fire hose right now. I can honestly say I have not hung up my phone since I got off the plane coming back from Vegas on Sunday. It's nonstop, morning to night. I love it. I love the energy. I love the enthusiasm that this team has. Everybody's got a gazillion questions on what do they need to do to succeed. Take a pregnant pause, learn your compensation plan, learn the member benefits, and sit back and be ready for us when we take you guys into the next level of network. What do I call it, Bob? Non-traditional network marketing. We have a very different model here than any other company does out there. And I think, like Bob said before, you're going to be able to start approaching those other network marketers who really had a passion for network marketing, but because either the company wasn't right, the product wasn't right, the compensation plan wasn't right, the opportunity, the timing, whatever it was. Right now, we are sitting on the precipice. I hate that word. Actually, I can't believe I just said it, but we're right on the cusp of something absolutely incredible with 7K. And Bob and I are going to do everything we can to turn the fire hose out of our mouth and stick it into yours. If you guys are ready to go, we're ready to go with you.
Well said. Totally agree.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. We got a Jim Barbarossa up next.
Hey, Bob, question for you. In some of the new material that 7K sent out to us, they're using a term preferred customer. I've had some people ask that. Can you explain that to me? Is that just somebody who is brand new, has never ranked up yet?
Right. That's preferred customer is a person that doesn't necessarily want to engage in building right now. That's not their really interest, but they like all the bullion, they like the benefits, they like what's there, and they're going to try and make some additional options. That's really kind of where the goal pay acquisition kind of came out of, and putting goal into the new customers' hand when they joined also, not just a bonus, not just a instant pay to the person who enrolled them. A preferred customer is going to have, remember we talked about some other options in the past. So there's too much stuff in development right now. So I don't want to say this is going to happen and it doesn't happen. What is going to happen is there is going to be a difference between a customer, and we've had this in the past, but nobody really kind of recognized, and an associate, the ones that earn that check, they earn that first check. Until then, everyone's a customer. But then there may be a difference between a person that makes an obligation. They're going to buy an auto saver. They're going to do certain other things, and they like what's happening. So you want to have ability to reward dedicated preferred customers. So that all will be rolling out in time. And the company's the one that's really kind of setting that definition. I haven't really had a lot of input into that aspect. My aspect, and I think Todd's too, is looking to take care of the people who want to build an income, build a recurring income, build a legacy, are interested in promoting the business. I'm not interested in building a great big preferred customer base. That's just not my thing, and it isn't very easily duplicated. So I stay away from it, Jim. Unless Todd, you want to bring something from your perspective on that.
I totally agree with what you just said. But I will say this, I can't count. I could count because we have the technology to do it. There's a lot of people that came in and said, I'm not interested in ever building a business. And when they got involved and plugged in and learned the member benefits, they realized, hey, I got friends that travel. Derek French has his hand up, and they can use 7K Advantage. Or I have friends that don't have health insurance, and they can use the 7K. They have a new name for it now. It used to be 7K Health. I can't remember the new one. Doesn't matter. But I think it was Lynn Doty. I was on a leadership call last night with some of my leaders. I think it was Lynn Doty. If I'm giving you credit for something you didn't say, take it anyway. But she said something along the lines of, when she's talking to a prospect and they say, I want to enroll and become a member, but I'm not interested in sharing this with anybody. She says something along the lines of, how much do you dislike your friends and family that you wouldn't want to share this opportunity with them? Which I think is actually a pretty hysterical transition, if you don't mind me saying so. But I think again, back to what Bob said, I totally agree with him. We want to be focusing on maximizing customer member benefits. That's something that we've been pushing very hard for 2 years with my team, making sure every new member, whether they want to share it or not, understands every one of the a dozen or so member benefits that we have and how to maximize them. So they're getting every bang for the buck out of their membership. And at that point, it's almost impossible for them to not think of somebody they want to share this with. And like Bob said on training weeks ago, you get them that first paycheck, those first two people underneath them that qualifies them to make up to $250 or $500 a week. Those points start bubbling up. They get that check and they're like, ooh, I could get addicted to this problem. And it happens more organically than you would think. Craig Collins, you're next.
Did I understand from the meetings that they were anticipating putting on our dashboard a counter of enrollments, rolling enrollments for the month?
Yes, sir. Bob, do you know when that's supposed to happen? Yeah. I do
not. Hopefully this weekend.
Okay.
In fact, I've got a screenshot of it, but I don't know if I can find it.
Why don't you dig for that a minute? Let me kind of clarify something, because this keeps coming up in conversations that I'm having. Is like, what does this monthly, rolling, weekly thing really mean? It's pretty simple. If you need 10 people on your left and 10 people on your right in order to attain the income level that you're looking for, or 2 and 2, doesn't matter what it is, that's over the last 4 weeks rolling. So if you got 2 this week, next week you're good, the next week you're good, the next week you're good, the 5th week, if you haven't had 2 more, you're going to get paid as an associate. That's as simply put as I can put it. But if you have one every other week, you're always going to have two on your left and one every other week on your right. You're going to have your two on your right. So your objective is to understand, and hopefully as soon as they have this on the dashboard, it'll be 0 and 0. So you're going to get paid an associate. It'll go 1 and 1. You're going to get paid. It's going to have 2 and 2. You're going to get paid at. It should be fairly simple to understand what you need to do to get that one more person left or right in that first 5 levels, the A, B, C, D, E underneath you, in what is your personal tree. So if someone was in your little spillover points that Bob was talking about before, cascade or whatever you want to use, whatever phrase you want to use, those people somebody else enrolled that are directly right or directly left of you, those don't count. The ones you sponsored left and right of you, and the ones they sponsored underneath them or you put down below them for whatever reason, those 5 levels that are active members, again, back to what I said before, have an autosaver processing every month and renew their membership or have the legacy membership every year. Those are the ones that are going to count.
Thanks for the explanation.
You're welcome. Derek, you got something?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, we only got about 300 team members on the French team, or Silver Connection Network, and we share. I mean, I'm a small team under the Todd Father team. If it would make it simpler for Bob and the powers to be for us to delete that band app and just go with the Todd Father, I'm good with that. But I want everybody to get the information. And Bob is having to post to mine, Todd's, and others. And I know he's got about 7 to post to. So maybe something I take offline. But if that needs to be posted, you know, if we can combine, I'm good with that, because
Yeah, thank you. I've been in meetings off and on all day today with Mike and Joy and Jeff and the other members on our team, trying to figure out what the best way to serve our greater. Again, I don't just manage the Todd Father team. Phil Godlewski has, 15, 16,000 members all the way across the board underneath him, and they all look to me for training and information dissemination. So we've got some big changes that have come. We are probably going to revamp both the Todd Father website and continue to use the band app for the foreseeable future. That may change down the road as resources need to be reallocated, but stand by. I'll give you guys the input on where to go and how to maximize that as we go. The one thing I can't stand is having stuff up on my website that is looking at the old 7K website or the old compensation plan. And right now, a lot of that does. And I apologize again for that, but I just can't spend a couple hundred hours, every 6 or 7 months redoing all that stuff. I need 7K to step in, and they are stepping up into making sure the portal on your back office has got current and updated information. Bob Reid showing me something right now. I can't see it. Bobby, what do you got there?
Well, I don't know how to take my iPhone to share with this. I forgot how to do that. I used to do it on my training. I forgot how to do it. But I've got a picture I can show it to answer to Craig's question. Let me get on speaker view here so I have a bigger screen. Y'all
I got you. I got you. By the way, I have another commitment and right now that I need to bounce off of. So I'm going to put myself on mute and let Bob wrap up the rest of this call.
There you go. Thanks so much, Todd.
Thank you all for being here.
Okay, and now I'm speaking. So let's see if I can, there we go. Craig and everyone, that's what is going to show on your dashboard. And it's going to start coming up, and you're able to see the sales that you're going to have on your left team and right team, new sales, 5 generational levels deep. And you're going to see the actives that are there. So it's going to prepare the information, and you're going to start seeing it ahead of time as we move into there. Let me get back on gallery view here. But And those of you that are bronze and above, they'll be bringing information as they develop it and have it out. Just make sure you get on the leadership call. I think they're going to have an additional one than just once a month on that. I know that we're meeting on a more regular basis. I'm on the advisory council, and so we're working together with the company to try and get these things like that would be the most beneficial for everyone. And that getting the tools in your hand and being able to see this is something that we're all working on. They are working on it. You're going to see different questions in your Downline Explorer where you can see the answer to your questions that you need to actually see what you need to do. So as Todd was saying, that I say this is a rolling 30-day. So they're going to look back, and let's say you're that copper, okay? So let me share my screen and pull up that Zoom again. In the PowerPoint. Now this is a little different one here. Let me find the companies. Okay, I'm just going to use the company one. And let me takes me a little time to get this stuff done. Get all these other things off my screen. Okay. And I think what I need to do is make that smaller. There we go. And let's just do slideshow from current slide. There we go. Now everybody could be able to see that. Okay. So for copper, you're going to have one new sale, 5 generational levels deep in a month, that rolling 30-day. So when they start this June 2nd, 3 weeks have already occurred in your business. So June 2nd through the 8th for that pay week, if your counter already reads you got 1 sale or 2 sales or 3 sales, then you don't need a sale that week. Okay. And the next week, it'll cut off the very first week, and then you got 4 consecutive weeks. So the new week tells you what you need. So let's go up to bronze, because this, quite frankly, if your business is growing and you're not already getting $1,000 check, and you're just getting a $500 check, you're getting an associate check, but you're ranked copper, you're still going to get your pay because you require no new sale. You just have that volume that's coming up. Now, it would enhance you to get a new sale and move up to copper, because all you need is a personal on your left and a personal on your right to qualify for the copper income as your volume grows, and then participate with that new person to help them enroll people, and then help those people enroll people. Now you're talking about your A's, B's, C's, D. Now you see how your generational levels are just starting. So this is why I think this is so powerful. Many people that's been in here and just making a check and keeping a check going, or let's say you're a silver or bronze and you're just getting a $500 check or a $250 check. Well, you're getting paid on volume. But if you want, and you've got actually these kind of actives left and right, all you need to do is work with one person and help them generate business and get these sales left and right, and you'll see what you need to actually build that volume and get that kind of pay. Much better than trying to, well, to even get my pay, I gotta have a bronze on the left and bronze on the right. And that bronze got to have a copper on the left and a copper, and that copper's got to have an associate on the staff and your personal staff. Do y'all see the difference between that? That's the big difference right here. And so much easier than the rank requirements and activity required. Okay. Hopefully that answered it. If that didn't clear it up, go ahead and ask me a question again. Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Wow. No question. Everybody understands it now.
You hit it out of the park, Bob Reid.
We can just go to work and have fun.
Amen to that.
Linda.
Hey,
Linda.
I've already got a gold bonus, by the way.
Attaboy, so have I. Good job.
Yeah, and so, and I've had, I got a whole bunch of people call me up and they've got 2 and 3 gold bonuses already. That means they just enrolled 2 and 3 new people.
Yep.
For them to get a gold bonus.
Yep.
And their people just got a gold bonus. And Todd, I'm like you, man. I've been doing 3-ways and Zooms ever since I've been getting back. I feel like I'm just starting 7K all over again. It's kind of fun. Linda, yes, ma'am.
Hello, different topic. Gifting the gold and silver from your Sound Money wallet to another member is pretty much like the old quote unquote transferring from member to member, but legally we have to call it something else. Correct? Is it basically the same thing?
It's the same thing. It's called a gift, and you're just
different.
saying you're gifting. That's all.
Perfect.
Works
I
the
just want to
same
make sure.
way, Linda.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
And what's so great about that is families are going to be able to actually share legacy with inside families, your grandchildren, your children, one another. I will be giving a lot of training on that in the forthcoming. I know Todd will too. And but I want to go back to one more thing on the comp plan. Y'all all know I used to teach you the kind of little shortcuts so you can maximize your pay. Believe me, I already know how to do this one because I did one much harder than this program way back in the 90s. I've taught you when you have your copper and you have on your pay side $960 points, that what you need to do is go in there and buy yourself 2 20-point coins. Well, it's going to cost you $300, but you get coins in your hand. But you're going to get an extra $500 paycheck. So you come out $200 positive cash flow ahead and 2 assets in your hand worth something. It's not an expense item. It's not lotion, potions, pills, or laundry detergent or smelling salts. Okay? That's the difference. All those other type things when you buy, well, we still have those same opportunities here, except they're even better. And you really need to be exploring that every week, looking at your calendar, looking at what you do, looking at your group, your team, how they can, because I have seen so many people miss that. I've seen so many people miss having one active, and it was a difference between a bronze check and a 30. And I saw it multiple times in this past month before the convention. I even called the people where they had the volume to get a silver or above check. They had volume. They were short one active. And I've given so many trainings on what to do and how to handle that situation. That's a difference of $1,500. Do you know I taught y'all how to gift memberships? It's called making a gift. It's called paying for a person's membership if you get them to do a little bit of commitment, especially in harvesting your pipeline. And if you're doing the business the way I teach, you got a pipeline to harvest. Gifting a membership is not a difficult thing with people who are just kind of on the line. I don't know, kind of can't ever make a decision. It's well worth gifting a membership, a VIP membership to $269 to make $1,500. So this is economics. This is business. Treat your business like big business, not some little network marketing thing, because it is not. Hey, by the way, you could have gifted more than just one membership if you need. You could have gifted more than that to still make that and make it positive. And then you got a new, hey, and if you gift a membership here, you get a gold bonus. Oh, how many of you thought about that before I just said it? Hey, Todd, see, Todd's trained right. He learned, okay? See, I've got all kind of ways already. Just hold your horses. We're going to maximize this pay plan like it ain't never been maximized, okay?
Yes, sir.
We got ways to go down that level. Linda, you had your hand back up. Or did you forget?
I think I forgot to put it back down. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I'll lower it for
There
you.
we go.
Terita.
Thanks.
Aloha, Terita.
Aloha. So I have to watch out for my verbiage. That's why I'm listening really. So Bob, when we get the gold, do we leave it in there? I'm asking the question. I actually know this answer. 2 people on here does not know, and they're texting me. Do we leave it in there? Can we change it over to silver? Can we put it into to fiat money? How does that roll out?
Well, I'm going to tell you, it's instant, and the company we've talked about that a lot because it's an instant pay. Okay, and they can convert it to cash, send it to their bank, but it's going to cost money. Okay, the whole point is to get people to accumulate wealth,
Right.
to leave it in there. That's the beginning of what they say they can't afford to do, where we're giving them a head start. That's what our jobs are, to communicate to them. Yeah. And they said, well, I need it to pay bills. Hey, you still got to pay those bills, just learning how to talk to them. You still got to pay those bills. You had to pay those bills before you got this. You got to understand, you're never going to have something if you keep doing the same thing you've always been doing. You got to do something different. And now we're giving you the head start. If you turn it into cash to spend or pay bills, you're just going to be a street person when calamity happens.
Yes. And
you're on the prefaces of being a street person anyway, if you're living that way. So you got to do something different.
And that was the goal for the company, so that they could put gold in people's hands, correct?
That's right. That's right.
Okay. Got it.
And I really like it because I get to teach that you can earn gold and silver. I get to teach the old way of doing the business that builds fast and easy, and that really piques people's interest. I had so many people talking to people and strangers in grocery store. Jim Bond's on here. He knows exactly what I did back then. He knows exactly how we exploded the business, all from a couple of little trainings that I gave, and the entire company started doing it, and we exploded. At our first convention back in the 90s, we had 10,000 people in Las Vegas. We had to rent there wasn't a convention. We had to rent the Las Vegas Center to have all the people there. We had to all leave all the different hotels to come to that center. We're going to do that again with 7K now, because this got easy. Got real easy.
It sure did. We got time for a couple more here. Kim Mulatto, you're up.
How you doing? Sorry, today, want to ask you a question real quick. So that means that based on what you shared today, the volume determines the size of your check. Whether you get paid or not depends on new enrollments. And if you have to accumulate now 500 minimum to cut a check at associate because the 250 is no longer in effect, right?
No, the 250 is always, none of the cycles, I didn't say any of the cycles change.
Okay.
And you don't have to generate volume to get a check. I specifically explained that if you're getting a $500 and $250 check, you don't even have to have a new sale.
Yeah.
5 levels cheap. So if you want to do something and work and you want to earn a check, you go to work. That's what you do. But if you want to sit back and just, rake in a $250 check because you got to buy, and volume was always a requirement to get a check. It never has not been a requirement. So there's nothing new there. The only thing that's new is we took out the ranks and we added an enrollment over a monthly qualifier instead of a weekly qualifier. That's the main
Can I
thing.
insert something right there? This is now not only the 5 people directly underneath you who are doing what they're already doing with building their business. 7K put the power in your hands to go find your one left, one right. Where before you had to have those 2 people underneath you make sure they obtain the rank that you needed for them to have. So your business, your success was completely dependent on their success. Now, no matter what anyone does underneath you, if you do 5 enrollments left and 5 enrollments right, you can have the rank of silver. If you do 10 and 10, so on and so forth. It literally gave you back the power to manage, thank you, Bob, to manage your own business. One point of clarification, back to what Kim Milato's question was, associate still has 2 pay options. It's not a cycle. 500 is a cycle check. 250 is kind of the bonus check that 7K put in place a couple of years ago with COVID. So 250 left, 250 right, and you have no personal new customer genealogy anywhere in your organization. You can make that 250 or $500 check. The only time cycles stop is after presidential gold. It's $500 cycle all the way up to 12.5. Between the 12.5, 25,000, 50,000, and 75,000, there are no cycles in there. That's just the next level of pay. And there are no you make 12.5 or 25 or 50 or 75,000. There's nothing in between that you can get paid based on quote cycles. So hope that clears that up. That's the only time that the $500 cycle goes away is after you've reached presidential gold.
Now,
That's
is
right.
this a permanent change or this is a test change? Do you foresee them going back to the old comp plan down the road?
No, they ain't going back to the old thing. This is a permanent change.
Thank you. Thank you.
All changes that they put in have been permanent. They hadn't went back yet. I've been here since the beginning of the company. Y'all want to know what change is? In the first year, we changed our comp plan 4 times. You want to know what a pioneer for the company is? Pioneers get all the arrows in the back. But we also know if you're with a really good company, you stick with it, you stay focused, you become part of change, you help make change happen. And that's what Todd and I are doing. We're helping change happen in a positive way with the company. And they are including us in the mix of change. That's pretty dadgum powerful. And so will we have more change in the future? Absolutely, we better have if we want to even grow bigger and better. And that's why I call them enhancements. The company uses that word. I've used it 7.5 years ago. But every time it got better and better. Every time we were able to make, I remember not too many years before PSI, before all y'all, most of you, everybody on this call probably, I remember when we were maxed out at 7,000 for when we put that comp plan together. 7,000 was as high as we could go, a goal. And then when we expanded it to the presidential level, 12,500, guess what? People started shooting for that because we had several of us that reached that goal. Several, not everybody making 7,000 a week. I did, but Richard did. But not everybody was doing that. But so we needed to expand it to attract more and better leaders to the company and give greater probability. And the company did it. We had a $4.99 annual renewal membership. Now you're talking about a big change. That's real positive because see, now we can sell. I did a Zoom with a very big business person. He's been away from network marketing for almost 20 years, but he's an extremely influential networker. He runs 4 businesses, but gold and silver caught his attention. He checked our prices on the website. It was better than what he was getting from his broker he was buying gold and silver from. He's interested. Now, I didn't prospect this person. Oh, by the way, the people prospecting him in Las Vegas. And he has some huge businesses in Vegas. Now, we've done 2 follow-up calls, and everything he sees, he likes, and he says, well, you know, I think I might re-engage in network marketing and sell a couple of my businesses I want to get rid of because all these 100 employees just give me headaches every day. But that's the type, this is what this type of comp plan is attracting now. That's what is available to all of y'all. And this person wasn't the person directly contacted. It was his employees that got contacted in the elevator at the hotel. They brought it back to their boss, and he wanted to know more about it after he looked at the website. So that's just we're going to have thousands of stories like that, everyone. And change is something you need to accept in life. Because if we're not changing, we're dying. We're not growing. We got to change. Everything in life changes. You tell me something in your lifetime as you look back, you didn't change. Of course, change. What you need to do is learn how to adapt to the change if it's positive and it works for you. I think what we've gone over tonight, Todd and I, how in the world can anybody find anything negative about this change? This only made the business so much easier for everyone. And the ability to make that 6-figure income, which I focus on and which I'm going to really train on and work on, because all you have to do is have 3 personals left and 3 personals right. And when you learn some of the shortcuts and you do the things that I teach, and you teach to build that autosaver, which is the lifeblood of a recurring income, is an autosaver, a product of value, an asset, and we learn how to talk and teach and communicate these principles, it's all over with but the shooting match, as far as I'm concerned. Back at you, Todd. Unless you want, I don't know how free you are.
No, I'm good. I'm moderating a thing and listening to both. I can multitask pretty well. But I love what you just said there. The only negative about this transition into the new enhancement 7K has is for the people who have not yet enrolled in your organization. That's the only one. And
So
somebody at convention, I can't remember who it was, said a great idea that they have for the people that said, no, this isn't going to work, you're never going to make it, is take a copy of your compensation this week and send it to them and said, I still have room in my organization for you if you'd like to join. And then just shut up, because it's gotten so much easier now. We have members across our downline that are fired up, not for the first time, but they're re-fired up, I guess I should say. They joined, they had enthusiasm, they had obstacles, they had their own obstacles, they had whatever. Most of it's because you're in your own way. And Bob teaches you how to get out of your own way. So come back to the Thursdays and the Saturdays going forward that we're both doing. Learn how to do the basics. You can't control results. You can only control activity. You can only do day-to-day activities to make yourself better, to improve yourself. You got to run through a list of the things you want to improve in your life. Maybe your knowledge of in my case, it's my relationship with Jesus. How can I grow there? Then how can I grow with my wife? Then how can I grow in my business? Then how can I grow in my physical health, which I should probably, because I'm bald and fat, move up a notch or two. But all joking aside, if you are looking at those 5 or 6 things that are your greatest growth opportunity areas, go read the books, listen to the podcasts, be on things like this that help you grow in the areas you want to. Don't just sit in your office or your home or wherever you work and do the same thing day in and day out and expect something different tomorrow. It won't happen. You've got to be pushing yourself to grow. And 7K just literally put a rocket ship underneath your tail end. Get on it, light the fuse, and go. And Bob and I are here to help you do that.
Absolutely. Good. Well said. Well said, Todd.
I would love to sit here and do this all night long, but no one else has a
Nope.
hand up.
Nobody has their hand up. I think it's a good time to bring it to a conclusion and let this be something that they can use with their people who didn't hear it tonight, along with the first part.
Bob and I don't have a plan for next Thursday as far as we're going to be here. Not a definitive plan for what we're going to do. It may be a little deeper dive on some of these topics I think is going to be warranted as we continue to have clarity on the other enhancements and modifications 7K makes to the comp plan. It's going to be some new materials that are out there to help you guys share this message with other people that are being developed. I think 2 weeks out, we're going to do what I talked about 3 or 4 weeks ago. Myself, Bob Reid, and 3 or 4 other leaders are going to literally sit here as a panel. And your prospects, the members underneath you, can come to us and talk about one major topic: objection handling. What do you say when? And I want Tarita and Kim Malato and Linda and everybody to say, this is one that when I get this question, I lock up. I literally hit, like, what is it called? Hyperbolic freeze or whatever. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. I just kind of hang up and run to the next prospect. We want to help you guys narrate and dialogue on those things. Learn the verbiage that I use, Bob uses, and some of the other leaders use. And we're going to put that panel together. I think we're going to do that 2 weeks out. So stand by. Keep an eye on on Bob's band app, my band app, the website, and your emails. We'll get invitations out as we can.
So good. Love every one of you.
Thank you,
We'll see
Todd.
you
Thank
at
you,
the
Bob.
next training.
God
Thank you,
bless
Todd.
each and every one of you guys. Love you all.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Todd. Thanks, Bob.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thanks, guys.